as I explained earlier, this is really the ideal file to use when you're doing frets for crowning them, getting the shape the way you like it. You slide along each side with it, applying gentle pressure each side of the fret, and you'll get it to crown towards the center. You will sort of blend the shape of the fret a little bit as you're doing this each side, bringing it, up a little bit to soften it and catch the corner and the edge of it to bring it over. And it really can be done to almost a point if you really want to, but at that point you'll have to bring down the edge of it a bit anyway. And then of course the fret ends can be done gently like this too to blend them in. And just have to rotate and turn your file a little as you do it, which gives a pretty nice finish already before you start to do any other additional sanding. So this here fret file has a two-sided half crown, you could call it, or quarter round inside corner that you can use to work on the ends of your frets here to bring them and blend any sharp corners around like this. What I particularly didn't like about this file, however, is that you will get a very small edge here that, because of this smooth surface here that protects the wood, you'll actually get a small edge there with a little bit of metal that doesn't get filed away, and you'll have to come back in with a fine file. Like I often take a little needle file like this, and then we'll go into the corner after rotating it in a spinning motion as I do it to remove that sharp edge over there. Failing that, I mean, you can just continue using the standard triangular file and blend those corners out as I was showing you earlier in the video. This kind of technique works very well as well, and then of course you can then go over the tops to polish them and blend them and sand them. There's a little sort of quick demonstration now of how to use a duck to come along the edge of your fingerboard here, where you might get some some sharp edges because the wood is shrunk and the fret hasn't. You'll be able to get rid of those sharp edges, keeping an angle, and just slide it along here. Let's take that away until it's blended off. At that point, you'll end up having to go back in either with, again, a triangular file to soften the corners, or small needle file sometimes is all that's needed as well to go over those corners. And you can also do a little bit of sanding with a soft pad, as I'd shown you or explained in a previous post rather, that has a buffer to it with a little bit of sponge and some fine sandpaper over it, and just blend it back and forth over the edges like that. Once the fingerboard's taped up all the way, you can protect it and you won't have to worry about damaging it. Now I'm going to explain a little bit about polishing the edges of the frets and so on. Here's a little buffer block that I use with a foam padding that's taped around the block of wood. And I take my fine sandpapers, and this is like a 1500 grit, which I'll then go along the edge of the frets to polish up the work that I've done with the files earlier. Likewise across the top of the fingerboard this way to go across the frets. Of course, the whole fingerboard will be taped up at that point to keep it as clean as possible. And then I'd follow that with the very fine steel wool. Make sure you get the right one. It's 4-0 grit of steel wool that you'll need. And as a final stage, you can then take it to your buffing wheel and use a little bit of compound, very light compound, to polish it out. At that stage, you would then remove your tape and go over it with fine rags to polish again.